let's work on this problem that asks us to find an equation of the line that passes through the point and happens to be parallel to another line. For part A, we have point 2, 1, and the given line for x minus 2y equals 3. While solving this problem, we need to remember that if two lines happen to be parallel, so let me highlight this word parallel. If two lines happen to be parallel, then they must have the same slopes. So, once again, parallel lines have the same slopes. So if we'd like to find an equation of the line that happens to be parallel to this line for x minus 2y equals 3, we need to find the slope of that line. That's our first step. Find the slope of the line for x minus 2y equals 3. Okay, now we'll work on finding the slope of the line for x minus 2y equals 3. And to get us started, we'll subtract 4x from both sides. And that gives us negative 2y is equal to 3 minus 4x. Then we'll multiply by negative 1 all the way through. And that gives us 2y equals negative 3 plus 4x. I'll rewrite that as 2y is equal to 4x minus 3. Then we'll divide by 2 all the way through. This will give us y is equal to 4x divided by 2 minus 3 divided by 2. And after simplification, that gives us y equals to 2x minus 3/2. What we needed here, we needed to find the slope of the line, and the slope happens to be the coefficient in front of x, that's exactly 2. Okay, slope m is equal to 2. Now, with that said, we can now write down the equation of the line. I will state what we have. So we have 2, 1 is the point on the line. And on top of that, we know that the slope of that line is 2. That's exactly the line we need to find equation of. At this stage, it's easier to use point-slope equation. So we're going to use point-slope equation. Y minus y naught is equal to m times x minus x naught. And once again, we know all the numbers necessary. We know x naught is 2, y naught is 1, and the slope m is 2. We have y minus 1 is equal to 2 times x minus 2. That's already a good enough example, or good enough answer. But if we'd like to see it in the slope-intercept form, then we can solve it for y. So I'll distribute 2, that's 2x minus 4, and then we'll add 1 to both sides, that's 2x minus 3. So either this, the very first equation, or that very last equation, both of those are equivalent, and both of them give the equation of the line that passes through to 1 and is parallel to that given line there. Now, in part B, we're given a somewhat different question, and we have the point 2, 5, and the line is x equals 4. What is unusual about this problem is that, if you remember in part A, we solved equation for y and got the slope, and we used the fact that parallel lines have the same slopes. Here we cannot solve this equation for y because there is no y in it. And that's the strong indication, since there is no y, this is the equation of vertical line. And what we know, if we need to be parallel to vertical line, our line has to be vertical again. Let me state it here. The line through 2, 5 must be parallel to x equals 4, and it happens to be vertical. So, in other words, we're looking for an equation of a vertical line that passes through 2, 5. So it's easier to deal with those special lines if we have some graph to think about. And here is the point 2, 5, 2, 5 on y-axis. And we need a vertical line that goes through this point. So I'll carefully make a vertical line. The equation of any vertical line is x equals stuff. Well, x equals some number, and that's the x-coordinate of this point. So x equals 2 is our answer.